I release. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. I believe. I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. I understand. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. I forgive. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past, so I can move into the future with a clean slate. I ask. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires. And I hear my mastermind partners supporting me in my fulfillment. I accept. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful, knowing this is so.
Hello, this is Kaylin Huntrass with the fourth of 4 weeks in the Weekly Accountability Mastermind. Thanks for joining me today. If you're here, go ahead and say hello in the chat box. Hello, Jonathan. Thank you for using so many multicultural greetings. Aloha and kia ora, the New Zealand greeting. It's really great. So this is the fourth in 4 weekly accountability masterminds. And I put this together as an experiment. I'm experimenting with new tech, as you can see by the glow around my hair. I'm not really set up very well with the green screen, but I just wanted to try it. And so that's been what I've been doing with this, is to experiment with the tech. And I use the format that Jonathan and I have used in masterminds many times before, where we share our wins, we share our challenges, and we share our commitments for the week ahead. And so what I've been doing with this mastermind is providing 3 minutes to talk about each one of these topics during the mastermind session. And then we write it in the chat box and then share it with others and then review what happened in previous weeks. And did we keep our commitments? And so I'd like to do the same again today. And we're going to start by sharing wins. So what I'd like you to do, everybody who's here, go ahead and type in the chat box for the next 3 minutes. What were your wins this week? What's worthy of celebration? Okay, 1 minute left. we've reached the end of the music. So I need to decide, do I change the timer to 2.5 minutes? Or do I find a 3-minute song? I like what's easy. And so I'm going to change this timer to 3.5 minutes, because this is really the test run for the mastermind. Don't even know. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so now the timer is going to last as long as the music in the future. And, you know, we only find these things by experimenting, by trying some things out. So I had some great wins this week. I closed a new retainer client, which was definitely needed, and I canceled a performance with low registration. I've been doing these free performances for a while, and they stopped getting the results that I used to get. And I think it's because weekly webinars or monthly webinars, people don't want obligations on their time right now. That's why I've been leaning more into video, creating more video content that is shorter and easier to consume. Especially with everything with the quarantine going on, people need more flexibility on their time. Jonathan had some great wins. 2 years of taxes filed. That's huge. Sorted out the storage. Man, you have been busy. It's incredible what you're doing for your family. I applaud you for doing all these things for your family, because they are just, you know, they're so lucky that they have you. Yep, I know there was a surprise. This is how we find out where the boundaries of things are, is we practice. And it's through this experimentation that we learn things. So Jonathan, I appreciate you coming through this experiment with me and practicing some of the boundaries of this format. But the format has been, you know, it's been neat, but it's too new. I'm working more with what do I think would be neat to do, rather than what is it that people know how to do. You know, and so that's one of the challenges I've been facing lately, is how do I reform my ideas into things that the market is really excited about, because I haven't been doing this part very well. So now I'd like to go on to challenges for 2.5 minutes. Let's share some challenges here in the chat box. What were your challenges this week? Thanks. Glad you think so. What were your challenges? What could have gone better? Let's wrap it up. Go ahead and add the rest of your challenges in here. Sammy, thanks for joining us. Sorry to hear about that challenge. Working from home is an ongoing challenge when you have kids clawing at your productivity. What I've found to be helpful in dealing with this challenge, because I've dealt with it for years and years, is having focus time and open time. Letting my kids know, during these hours, I'm going to be totally focused, but during these hours, feel free to interrupt me. And the way that I typically do it is I move my laptop from my studio, where I am right now, where I'm recording this, out to the kitchen table, so that they know, like, oh, he's at the kitchen table, I can interrupt him. And that really helps my wife and I tag team, so that when she needs focus time, I'm available to interruption for the kids. And so I know it's an ongoing challenge. We've all been dealing with the decreased productivity of working from home, but hopefully you can find some ways that at least get you some periods of what Cal Newport calls deep work, and you can earn that deep work time by trading some shallow work time, and let your family know, here's my shallow work time, feel free to interact with me during this time, and in return for that, I need some deep work time during these hours. Jonathan's getting back to business. Sorry you lost your Facebook page. That's such a, Facebook has been such a difficulty for all of us. Anybody who's on Facebook has a challenge with Facebook. I broke up with Facebook earlier this year and said, you know what, I'm just out of it. I'm not going to do it at all because for a lot of reasons. But then I realized for this niche market that I'm moving into with crypto, teaching boomers how to buy their first Bitcoin, they were all on Facebook. I'm not going to find them in a better place than on Facebook. So it's the necessary evil of our time. Man, 50 hours a week is a lot. So I hope you're taking some time for yourself. That's like the best thing we can do when things are so stressed, is to preserve that time where we get really recharged. And I know you're so good at this, at identifying what are the things that I can do to recharge myself and scheduling those in. I know that you're really good at that self-care, but I also know that self-care routines can be thrown up in the air when we travel. And so after these trips that you've been making, I hope that you find some equilibrium with your habits and with your recharge techniques. And I know you're not complaining. This is why we hold this space, right? If you have a place where you can articulate, these are my challenges, this is what I've been dealing with, it helps get it off your chest. And I spend this time every week looking at my challenges and really giving it full attention, so that the rest of the week, I'm not it's not nagging at me. I love what Elizabeth Gilbert said in her book Big Magic, where she talks about fear and about how fear is in a car with her and her genius, and the fear sits in the back seat and throws a tantrum whenever something could go wrong. And the analogy she gave, I thought, was really useful. She said, she spoke to her fear. She addressed it and said, you will always have a say, but under no circumstances will I allow you to drive. Because her and her muse, her genius, those two get to drive the car of her life. And the fear can sit in the back. It's not allowed to put a hand on the wheel, but it always has a say. And I love that, because when you give your challenges a say and you allow your challenges to articulate what's really going on, then they don't feel unheard. They don't feel the need to sabotage what you're going through. So I guess this was a challenge. I lost one Ethereum, but the win was I made a great video about it, which is back on my YouTube channel, and it's I screencast this experience of deciding whether or not to do this thing that cost one Ethereum, and I decided and I lost it, and that It was a challenge because, it was a sizable chunk of my crypto portfolio. But it was also worthwhile because I'd never really had the sort of scammy interaction because I've been so cautious with my crypto. I haven't had anything nearly as bad as what you've faced, Jonathan. And there are so many hazards out there in the crypto space that I feel like by going through it, by being hoodwinked, I can understand more accurately what others go through, you know? It's a club now, We've been in a club and I didn't have membership for this club for, I've been investing in cryptocurrency for 4 years and I hadn't really understood what this was like. I've seen these sorts of scams happen before. And so I've observed them from the outside, but I've never really participated in it myself. And I've never really had it happen to me. And so I'm glad that I had the experience of it because, this breadth of experience, it's critical for somebody who wants to teach others about how to get into crypto. And I think that's where my niche is going to be. I don't want to tell people how to day trade or do advanced stuff because I don't know how to do that. I'm a total sophomore with crypto. I know enough to be dangerous and get myself into big trouble. And so what I want to focus on is helping people get in and buy their first bit of Bitcoin. That transition of, okay, I know I need to figure this piece out to transfer cash into crypto. That's the piece I'm going to figure out. And what people are really afraid of in that transition is how do I avoid losing my wealth? And now that I've gone through it, I can empathize a little more. I can offer the perspective of experience instead of just theory. Yeah. I appreciate that. It's, but I'm more sorry for yours because, wow, that was a lot. Yeah. So I did get into it a while ago, but then I was in the middle of moving to New Zealand and I was in the middle of, getting things set up here. And my job and my business were all going through transition and I couldn't really devote a whole lot of time. So I dabbled in it. Anytime I had anytime I had money come in, I would put 5% of my income into crypto. And I just did that on clockwork. I had a couple of basic investments, but I didn't really dive in to any of the more intermediate to advanced techniques. And now that I have the space and the flexibility to do it, I've really been having a lot of fun. It's been great. Okay, so now we're coming up to the final part of the Weekly Accountability Mastermind, the commitments. So we're going to review. We don't have anybody on today who was on last week, but Jonathan, you were on 2 weeks ago. So I do want to review your commitments from 2 weeks ago. I'm going to find a way to put this up on the screen. I haven't figured out how to do this because this is a comment from a previous video. And so I have Jonathan's commitments from 2 weeks ago are here. And I'm just going to put this up for your review, Jonathan, to help move your mom. Sounds like you did that. Eat healthy on the trip. Did you do it? Type it in the chat box. Let us know. And set up the next community coaching event. Is that set up? Give me a yes or a no. Type it in the chat box. And did you work out 4 times in either of those weeks? If you did, we're going to call that a win. So let us know if you accomplished those commitments. My commitments from last week were to publish 3 videos. Let me type this in here. From last week were to publish 3 videos, which I did, and to do gratitude journaling 5 out of 7 days, which I did not do. Let me put these up. I failed on this commitment. I opened up my gratitude journal this morning and realized the last time I did it was last week. So I have 1 out of 7 days. That was a fail, but I definitely got 3 videos on. So that was a win. And Jonathan, boom! Yes on all 4. Congratulations. Well done. Yes, 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 yes. That's great. So now let's go ahead and write our commitments for this week. What is it that you want to have accomplished by this time next week? Go Go ahead and write it in the chat box. What are your commitments? Thami, I'm glad that you showed up. This was open invite. Anybody could attend, and so I'm glad that you came. Thanks for showing up. One more minute. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up the commitments. All right. So since we're not doing another weekly accountability mastermind here on YouTube this week, I'll follow up via email with everybody who and see if you have achieved your commitments. Sammy, you're going to finish 2 new articles for your new site. You're going to do a daily workout routine every other day and do 1 tutorial video. And in addition to that, you know, maybe get some real work done on the side. But real work, that's your side gig, right? My commitments are to publish 3 more videos for my YouTube channel, to send my new article to the magazine. I finished the first draft this morning, so I've got to get some revisions in and send that off. I want to close 1 more client, and I've got a bunch of calls on the book, so I think I can do that. And I want to finish an ebook. I need to get some ebooks put up on KDP, on Kindle Digital Publishing, to get my Amazon author page. And I've got a bunch in process. And so Thursday afternoon, I'm going to buckle down and finish 1 and get it ready to go. Jonathan gets a date. Hooray. Gosh, that's a good commitment. Map out the new Visioneering course. Gosh, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Visioneering course. That's been in process for a long time. And another 8 days in Dallas. Jeez. Well, the prep is what you're doing this week. So I wish you luck with the prep. But there's more. There's more commitments. Work out 4 times this week in Portland and next week. So that's a total of 8 workouts. Read 2 new books. The Gap and the Gain and Identity Shift. Those sound good. Awesome. You too, man. I think you've got this. Way to go. So I'm really happy that we finished 4 weeks of the Weekly Accountability Mastermind. And what I'd like to do now is to invite, since I'm just experimenting here, popping a link into the chat box for if anybody wants to come on camera and say hello here in Ecamm. I've got a link in here for this interview mode. I've only done it a couple times with Eric Forrester, who's attended some of the previous weeks, but he couldn't be here today. And this is a neat way for us to be side to side. So if you wanted to come on and say hello, then you're welcome to do that. And I'd really love to know your feedback. If you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this live, you can either put it in the chat box or reach out to me directly and send me an email and let me know, like, what's this format like? Do you think it's worthwhile? I've kind of, for me, it's an experiment. It's something I've never done before. I've never seen anybody use a mastermind in this format. It's usually on Zoom with everybody there in a grid, which I totally get. But I'm also experimenting with what's this like to do it in this, where like there's one person hosting and others can attend on camera or not. So I'm going to experiment with adding somebody on camera. Hello, Jonathan.
Hey, man, how are you?
Fantastic. It's another great day to be alive, right?
Boom, green screen. I love it.
Yeah, you're looking great, man. How was the trip?
It was fantastic, and I have exactly 2 minutes before my next Zoom, so I just want to say thank you so much for putting this whole program together. It was amazing, and you rock.
Hey, thanks, man. It's so good to see you. I know you're super busy with all your travel and everything, but I'll shoot you a link to my scheduling calendar if you want to do like a one-on-one Zoom and just catch up sometime. It would be great to spend some time with you again.
Let's do it.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks for coming. It was great to see you.
See you soon, brother.
Have fun out there. And Sammy says he would like to show up too, but he's got a meeting in 3 minutes. And I'm interested in this too. I want to try it, but it's, that you showed up in like a, just an open format. I kind of sent it one email out to my list and I had 12 people show up in the first session. And then I did an experiment. I wanted to see who's going to show up if I don't email and remind them. So instead of email reminders, what I did this time was I just gave everybody a calendar invitation that had a notification. And so this is part of my experiment to see, like, do I need to keep telling people time to come, time to go? And apparently I do. So unless people are committed. And so I'm thinking that this, like, even just putting $20 down, it makes a commitment that says, yes, I want to do this. So I'm playing with the format. Any suggestions or ideas you have on the format, I'd love to hear them. Thank you, Sammy, for showing up. It was great to see you, and let's catch up sometime. So I'm going to head off and move on to the next thing. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have fun out there.